What is going on, guys? Mark's here, back to post another quick video. And I was actually going to do a response video, which I haven't done since the very first video actually that I've done here on YouTube. And I was going to do a response to Jonas's 3-question thread. And I know I'm pretty late on it, but better late than never, huh? So he's got 3 pretty good questions. And they were all really tough, but I managed to find some stuff to get some answers to it. So I was going to run through these kind of fast so I don't run out of time, but let's get started. So question number 1, show 3 records you would give to a child as a representation of yourself. And again, this is a pretty tough one. There's a lot I could have chosen from. But I decided to break it up by decade. So starting with late 60s, early 70s, I chose Jimi Hendrix. This is his album, The Cry of Love, from 71, I believe. And everybody should know who Hendrix is, whether you're born in 1940 or if you're going to be born 15, 20 years from now. Everybody should know who Jimi Hendrix is, past, present, and future. Definitely greatest guitarist of all time. It's amazing what he did to change music, what he did for rock music. Great musician, Jimi Hendrix. And next, this one, I chose this one, but this is basically representing the whole decade, because one of my favorite genres is 80s rock and metal. So there's a ton of bands I could have chosen from for this one, but I just decided to pick this one to represent all of them. And I chose Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil. And like I said, this goes for almost every 80s rock band, every 80s metal band. Just to sum it up, what all of it was like. Great stuff. Love the 80s. And next, for the 90s, I chose my favorite band, Rage Against the Machine. This is their album, Battle of Los Angeles. And I think everybody, whether you know them or not, you should give this band a try. Definitely not the same as other styles of music, blending rap with metal. But yeah, great stuff. Everybody should, if not know who they are, at least try them and check them out. Especially kids in the future. Don't listen to shit. But the last one, representing the 2000s, or not just 2000s, but like my love for death metal, stuff like that. And I would have loved to have chosen some band like Cannibal Corpse or Deicide, but I don't have any of their albums on vinyl yet, but I'm working on that, so be watching out in the future. But instead, I chose Slipknot's Iowa, which I've shown this countless number of times. One of my favorite bands, one of my favorite albums of all time. Great stuff. Alright, so the second one, I actually cheated on that one, didn't I? Yeah, I showed 3 records, I showed 4, but whatever. So the second one is show 3 records that represent your parents. And again, another tough one, a lot of stuff I could have chosen from, but I finally narrowed it down, got some pretty good stuff that I think represents them. So I got 1 for my mom and 2 for my dad. So the one representing my mom would be the Beatles, definitely. This is their album, Hey Jude. And my mom is a fucking Beatles nut. She's obsessed with the Beatles. And my dad's a big fan of the Beatles too, but not even close to my mom. She's crazy about them. But for my dad, the first one representing my dad, I chose Led Zeppelin. This is Led Zeppelin 4. And he's a real big fan of Led Zeppelin. He's always listening to them in his free time and stuff like that. And he was telling me about how whenever he was a kid and he was my age and stuff like that, him and his friends would go to Led Zeppelin shows and get front row tickets for $8. Ridiculous. I wish I could have been there in that time. But yeah, Led Zeppelin, one of his favorite bands. Shit. And the last one, this is my dad's favorite band of all time, actually. And he's always telling me about them, listening to them. And his favorite band is Yes. And this is the Yes album. Always talking about all the times he's gone to Yes shows in the past. He's gone to plenty of them. And how they've been his favorite band ever since he was a kid. And this is his favorite band of all time. Me and him will sit back here sometimes, just spin some Yes records. I got quite a few over there. So yeah, that's Yes. And the last question, well, these aren't really questions, but you get the idea. This one, I actually cheated on this one too. This is show 3 records that represent vinyl community members. And I couldn't do 3, so I picked 5 to make it a little easier. But so starting off, this member is my friend DJ Mbase, Matt, over from the UK. And if you're not familiar with his channel, he shows a lot of obscure death metal, black metal, stuff like that. Stuff that nobody really ever sees, or if they do see, it's really hard to find. And he's got a lot of really cool stuff in his collection. And I've shown this a couple of times actually, but this is Bestial Holocaust, Temple of Damnation. Pretty obscure death metal band that no one really knows about, so that's why I think about him when I see this, because he's always got records that nobody really knows about. So yeah, really cool channel, check it out. And the next one, going along the same lines as the last one, this one's for my friend Rob, who's also from the UK, 26 Bond, and he's got a pretty extensive rare death metal collection too, stuff that's pretty hard to get a hold of, and he actually turned me on to this band. I've shown this before too. This is the Ravenous. This is their album Blood Delirium. Again, a death metal band that not too many people know about, but cool stuff. It's got Killjoy from Necrophagia in it. And yeah, every time I listen to this, I think about him whenever I first started listening to them after he recommended them. So yeah, really cool band. Both those channels really cool. If you're a fan of metal, check them out if you haven't already. And next one, this is actually representing Mr. Hall of Fame, who's been MIA for a couple of months now. So I hope he's doing good and well. But whenever I mention Mr. Hall of Fame, I'm pretty sure about 90% of you know what I'm about to show already, because he's showing this all the time, always talking about it. And this is Metallica, my 1986 original copy of Master of Puppets. And if you've seen his videos, you know he's in love with Metallica. He loves this album. So yeah, every time I see this, I'm going through it, I always think about him. One of the best metal albums of all time, in my opinion. And next up, ever since I started watching this guy's videos and I hear something about this band, I immediately think of him. If I hear the name or I hear a song, I just think about him. I don't know why. And this is Boston, and it reminds me of my good friend Rob from Boston, Panique's 1960. And he's a really cool dude. I enjoy all his videos. One of my really good friends on here. So yeah, definitely check him out if you haven't heard of him. Really cool guy. And last one, this one's from my good friend Joe Spencer, who is basically to punk what I am to metal. He's a huge punk fan. He knows a lot of stuff about punk, so I chose Minor Threat for him. Every time I see something punk, the first thing I think about is him. If Joe likes it, if he's recommended it before. Another one of my really good friends on here. So that's it. Thank you Jonas for the questions, letting me be able to answer them. And I'm starting to run out of time here, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, leave a comment or whatever, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.